Hello and welcome to Royale Without Cheese, our bi-weekly podcast in which we discuss both the classic and the unknown of Hollywood and foreign cinema from the then and now. We are three filmmakers and your hosts, me, Tomás Ferreira, Miguel Aido,
Hi there.
and Leonardo Miranda.
Hello, everyone.
This is our talk show segment where we welcome grand indie filmmakers to our wonderful couch and discuss their work. Here with us we have Mazen Haj Kassem, a Syrian actor, director and producer based in Denmark. Mazen has directed and produced several shorts and runs indie film festivals across different countries. As an actor, he performed in TV series, short films and plays which were later screened at established Danish galleries. He starred in the Netflix series The Rain and the thriller The Nile Hilton Incident, screened at 2017 Sundance Film Festival. Today we go through his experience as a festival head and his latest short film work. So Mazen, how are you feeling today?
Thank you so much for podcast today. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure to talk now about my projects and the future projects. I'm going well. Actually, it's a very surprise for me because this month I'm just to get like 20 selected for my new film, My Toy.
Right, yeah. We've been seeing that you had pretty competitive month, really, in all sorts of festivals right now.
After tomorrow, I will be in Givoni International Film Festival in Italy.
Oh, yeah?
The best film festival in Italy after Venice. So they just selected on 10 short films from 3,000 short films.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Well, for starters, congratulations on My Toy, evidently, because not only has been on those more recent festivals, but also it has been on Stockholm International Film Festival, and it just won the Audience Award at Gosh International Film Festival in Paris. And just for the viewers listening, it's a drama concerning two children, Sarah and Salim, which get separated of their families by the authorities because, well, the families are incapable of taking care of them. And this is really an issue that is pretty big in Scandinavia at the moment, as your film shows. How did you come about this issue? How did it pull your interest? And amongst a lot of those social justice films out there, how different did you envision your approach to be?
To be honest with you, this My Toy, it's a first fiction film talking about this line and about important story in Scandinavian. Sure, you watch the film and in the end you can read like last year in Denmark, it was 13,500 children educated from their parents. So this is crazy, it's very crazy number. And 2015, when it came Syrian refugees to Scandinavia, Sweden and Norway and Denmark, so many families, Syrian families, they lost their children because we have a different like I'm Syrian origin. So if you wanted to talk with my boy, for example, my son, I cannot to tell him when I'm see he make it like wrong. So you cannot to do that. And also I'm not to be like sadist with him. But you can make balance. You can talk with him. You can be angry with him sometimes. So that's what's happened with the Syrian families in Sweden and Denmark between 2015 and 17 and to now. Maybe they lost their children. So from there, I'm just like make idea and a synopsis to make My Toy. And My Toy is just a short film, but I'm working now to be like future film as a long film. So because it's very, very important, the story. And when I'm screened like My Toy last 4 months in many festivals to now 50 festivals. So the audience, they be like very interested and they ask me that, do you think, Mazen, it's very easy to lose your children in Scandinavian? I'm told no, it's not easy. Like the police, for example, they didn't came for my home and they tell me, okay, we wanted to take your son from you. No, this never. You cannot see that. But for example, I have a son, and I'm just like I've been angry yesterday, for example. So he's heard my voice. It was high, and today he went for school. So his teacher told him what's happened, why you are sad. So he told her because my father, he was angry yesterday. So I will see the police at my home.
Okay, so you're saying that there is in fact an abuse of force that things can be misinterpreted because of a simple discussion
Exactly,
or argument.
exactly.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to start to write my toy because I've been a writer, producer, and director for film. I talked with my doctor. I talked with the family house. This family house where I'm shooting my toy, whereas like parents they meet with the children. So we say in Denmark or Scandinavian family house where they meet together, the parents and the children.
Right.
So I'm talking with them and I'm asking them when and why you get like the children from their parents. So they told me, Mazen, you have two options. The first one, for example, if the parents they have problems like alcoholic, they take drugs, under 18, and they have stress. And the second option, sometimes in a Scandinavian family, they give their children for city hall or for commune to caring about their children because, for example, man and woman, so they have a relationship and they coming like to stop this relationship and they have one boy. So what will happen about him? They will give this son for Denmark to caring about him because they wanted to caring about themselves and they don't want to caring about their children. They wanted to go for another relationship. Yeah, but to be honest with you, it's very, very, very problem because last week, one woman, she's from Iraq, she's as a refugee in Stockholm. She lost her girl. They have like a new girl, like 2 weeks, I think, and the police they came and they took like the girl from her mother because she have stress. So all social media in Scandinavian, they're talking about this.
Right.
Happened with them. So that always.
So it seems that the level of how the situation is treated, the level of injustice is much bigger than the spirit, any good intentions or the so-called spirit of justice that this kind of action would have, which would be, at the first instance, would be to just separate the children from parents who are abusive, drug addicts, who have clear problems, clearly the situation is unbalanced. And that's what you're saying, correct? That they're actually taking without good reason, more than are taking with good reason.
Exactly, and
right,
also
right.
when I came to write the story, I'm just thinking about. I wanted to make like just one family to put to one family in the story. For example, Arabian family, or I need to make balance. So when I'm here, many different stories in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. So I'm thinking, no, I need to do to put like two different families, Danish and Arabic family, because that I put it in my toy, Danish family and Arabic family. But I have three children, two girls and one boy. The second girl, if you can see, her family they didn't came to meet her. That what I mean. So before shooting 2 weeks, before I'm started shooting 2 weeks ago. So I've been in family house and I'm so like a one boy, he sit alone. So I've been to talk with the manager for family house and I'm gonna ask her why he sit alone. So she told me because his family they didn't came to meet him. So, sorry, what the fuck? So the Denmark give you a chance to meet your son after you lost him. So sure, we need to know first which problem do you have. Like for example, if you are alcoholic, so you cannot to see him maybe one time by year. If you have stress, one time by monthly. If you have like if you're sick, you have a dangerous sick, so you can meet him one time every 6 months. But not alone. It will be, like we say, bidigu, who is assistant children. They need to be with you in a room or in a place when you meet him. So, and sometimes when you have a chance to meet your son, So you didn't came to meet him. So that's crazy.
Yeah, so clearly that must be one of the situations where the parent does not have the capacity. It's not a parent with the capacity to take care, perhaps, or there's some
Exactly.
kind of disconnection. It's one of those cases.
I live in Odense, Danish city. 6 months ago, I think, like one family from Somalian, I think Somalian family, they are refugees here in Odense. He killed his wife
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and his children. It was in salon, and they saw everything what's happened. When it came police, they take two children and they moved them to, for example, Copenhagen or another city, and they changed their name because he cannot to meet them again, never.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm with that because
Mm-hmm.
it's many audience people when they watch the film, and when I'm gonna make a Q&A, so they ask me, Mazen, you open a movie like a negative and you close a negative. You didn't make, like, for example, who's a Arab father, he took his son and back again for his country. So I'm telling him, no, I cannot, because this true stories. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot put, for example, Arabic father. He's very genius. He's very gentle, and he's very relaxing with his son when he talk with him. I cannot do that. So why he lost his son? But I'm not with to talk like the children from their parents. But sometimes I'm with that when, for example, do you have big problem?
We'll pass to the Mike's question on another angle.
Yes, but it's for full memory, my
Full
question.
memory.
Full memory.
This short was screened at the Academy Award qualifying Odense International Film Festival, and it follows the daily life of Ziad, a lonely immigrant living in Europe who needs to confront a dark truth in his past, which he is suppressing, the death of his brother. And this felt, I think, to all of us, a much more personal story. So, how did this idea come to you? And being the main actor, do you believe that it served like a catharsis for something profound that you needed to express, perhaps?
Full memory. It's made like many success last year and this year, because 149 film festivals we screened and 38 awards. We got 38, 39, I think, awards as best short film. I shoot in Luxembourg, full memory. And we got like a funding from Luxembourg Film Fund. It was very difficult and very challenge for me to shoot a full memory in Luxembourg. I can speak Arabic, and I've been an actor in the movie, but all the crew and the cast, it was a Luxembourgian, French people. They didn't speak Arabic. So, but sure, I mean, I've been a writer also. I'm translate the script for 3 languages. And it was a Corona time, and I'm writing the script 2020, but already started Corona time. Everything closed, so I have to wait to open all airport again, and to be in Luxembourg and the shoot in Luxembourg. It was a challenge because I mean shoot the full memory in 12 hours. Just 12 hours in the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 14 minutes. So,
And you did a massive scene in a train station, which is another thing full of people, which I think was all natural made.
you need to talk with the police to take like document shooting there. And Luxembourg, actually, it's a very small country. So I think 400,000 people just, but many people, they came from France, Germany, Belgium. They working there in Luxembourg, and they back again. So we shoot like the scenes in the train station in middle day, 14 o'clock, I think 15 o'clock, when the people, they have to back again to their countries, to Paris or Germany. It was my plan for full memory to give the character for another actor. His name Abed Fahed. Abed Fahed, his biggest star in Middle East. But Abid Fahd, he's have 60 years almost, and he told me, he's changed all my plan. He told me, Mazen, you need to play this character. So I'm told, no, I'm director for the film. I cannot be actor. So I'm a professional actor also because I finished from theater school 2012 in Damascus, Syria. And I've been a professional actor in my country. We can back for this subject again. But he told me you need to play this character because you are still young. So I'm in 31 now. I've been 29. So he's changed like something between me and the story. So I'm back again and changed the draft. And full memory is Ziad character. It's just one character in a movie. We can talk about the story because almost we have now 1.5 years. Ziad, he's have nostalgia. So this nostalgia, you can find this nostalgia in all people, like me, you, yeah. I mean, like nostalgia, for example, I'm from Syria, I live in Denmark. When I meet any Syrian guy, so we directly we start to talk about the Syrian food, some streets in Syria. So this nostalgia. Ziad, he's have he went for extreme in nostalgia. Every weekend, he went for a train station to take his guest. And every weekend we can see him, he back again, and he opened like a subject to talk with his guest. And in the end, we can see like he called his mother and he talking with her, and she told him, why you call me every time and you ask about your brother?
Yeah.
So already he asked her before, but he don't want to believe that. He knows he's sick, but he don't want to be like he's have a normal day if you check on his calendar on a wall every time. So he's have a normal day in like between Monday and Friday. He's have normal days, and he working. He go for fitness, so for a doctor. So every time's okay, but in a weekend he need to go for another life because he sees himself like in this state. And to be honest with you, like many Syrian people, they have the same nostalgia in Germany, Sweden. I mean about younger people, so they live alone.
That's why the actor made that point to you, right?
Exactly. So they live alone, and they don't have, for example, when they came beginning to Germany, for example, they don't know to talk like a Deutsch. So they don't have friends, they don't have families, they lost maybe their families in Syria and they came to Germany. So they have like nostalgia, and nostalgia, it's different levels.
Yeah, and isn't English a bridge that can maybe connect or move people closer? Or
Yeah, no. It's a no. It's like also the English language in Germany. It's very difficult because like you're gonna talk full English in Denmark with the Danish people, but not in France or Germany, for example, or Italy. So they didn't speak English, and they want to speak English. So that's very difficult for new refugees. Like 1.5 million refugees, they came between 2015 and 17 to Germany. Very high number. And
that's true. That's true.
yeah. So that's what happened with the Ziad, because that put it like a full memory. But also, you can put Ziad character in all younger people who live alone. For example, we have students in Denmark, they live alone, they don't have a Danish friends because it's very difficult to pick like integration with the Danish people sometimes. Like what's they thinking? Many international students here. So about the language, about the different culture. So they live alone.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And structure-wise, also, full memory. It's by comparison to my toy, it's quite on the experimental strand, let's say, with the black and white and the repetition in the routine that will only be broken once he faces his trauma. And so, were there any movies that inspired you in that regard, in the way that you wrote the movie?
No, it's happened like funny things about when we start the first day to shooting in Luxembourg, and one of my crew, he told me, did you saw the Oscar 2022 last year? So I'm told, no, I don't have a time. I've been very busy on to make something for a full memory set. And he told me because the technique, who is a winner best short film in Oscar 2022, who's a black guy, it's also a true story. What happened in US, who is a policeman, he killed him, who's a black man. So they made like this story as a short film, and they won as a best short film for Oscar. So he got an Oscar. So the same technical between the Full Memory and this movie. So Full Memory, every time, every weekend, and he walk up and they go for train station and the back for next weekend and the back for next weekend, next weekend, next weekend. I don't remember what the name this short film. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But the story for Black Man, he walk up and they go for street and the policeman, American policeman, he to stop him and they killing him. And he walk up again when he did. And they go for street and he meet him. And he did. And he walk up and he did.
Right.
Yeah. So the same technical, but I didn't mean because I didn't watch it yet, this movie. But they told me it's the same technical. So I'm just thinking to put some different in Full Memory. So I put it like I'm changing the colors. When we've been with the Ziad live, we can be with him black and white because he's just alone. He can see he's a guest because who is like was extra in a bar. Who's a people? It was with him in a bar, and they shooting him from telephone because when he dancing, so he's just hear the Syrian music, but it was a different music. It was English music. So yeah, he's just thinking about like a different. He's just alone who's so that.
Yeah,
So
and I imagine that you also, in that respect, you've complemented the situation by changing the aspect ratio as well.
exactly, and in the end, when we hear the true story from his mother, so I need to change the color to be like a colors. So okay, we knows now what's happened with the Ziad.
We also would like to focus on your work beyond just the filmmaking side, because you're also very much involved in the behind the scenes of series of film festivals, like for instance as a manager of the Harhus Arab Film Festival in Denmark and the Syrian Film Festival for the Danish Film Institute, also as a jury member, or as you mentioned, I think, for the Odense International Film Festival, among others, also in Sweden and in India. So what brought you to these contexts, to this behind the scenes, like as a festival manager and as a jury, and how difficult has it been to balance all this work in your life as well?
2018, I did a Syrian Film Festival. It was a challenge for me because I've been very stupid how I get like a funding. So I don't have any idea how can me to get a fund or help or sponsor or something. But I need to do this festival as a Syrian Film Festival. So the festival in normal, it's to be like in one city, right? But I did it in 2018. I did it in 4 Danish cities: Aarhus, Copenhagen, Aalborg, and Odense. And then I moved it to Norway, Oslo, Trondheim, Lillehammer, and Bergen, also for Norwegian city, and for Stockholm and Malmö. So you have 10 Scandinavian cities. I've been alone.
I mean, that's quite a feat, my first question is, how do you get infrastructure to do that?
I've been alone.
You know?
I've been alone. I don't have any team.
Right.
So, but I have a good network with the Syrian directors, Syrian actors. And also it was very difficult for me to mention about the Syrian family, because of some Syrian films, it's be under Syrian Film Institute. so I cannot work with them. And some movie, it's talking very over about ISIS and about war. I don't want to screen these movies for Danish people or Danish audience or Scandinavian audience. So it was very difficult for me to select which movie I need to screen for Scandinavian audience. So 2018, I'm screened 4 long films and 4 short films, and to be also 3 guesses as a filmmaker. They Syrian filmmakers, but they live out Syria. So I'm just to make deal with the cinemas. I'm told them you can get all tickets, but please give me chance to screen my movies. And so I'm just selected on 4 long films and the 4 short films. It was very difficult to select which films like to be as a Syrian story, to be like to focus on Syria as a country or Syrian people before the war and after the war. So what's happened and what's the difference? So, but I'm just surprised because many international channels, TV channels, and the radio newspapers, it's talking about me. So like BBC, CNN, Jazeera Al Arabiya, it's many media, they talked about me. We did a success, and it was like a Danish audience and Norwegian and Swedish people. So they very interested, and they asked me when they watched the Syrian movie, they told me, Mazen, are you sure this Syria? So I'm telling them, yeah, this Syria, because they don't have any idea about the Syrian and about Syrian, just about what they hear it from the media. And as refugees, ISIS, children, so that's it. They don't have any idea who's the oldest country in the world, who's oldest cities in the world, Aleppo, Damascus. So I'm just screening that for a Scandinavian audience. 2019, I'm finished from film school, my master as a director from a film school in Denmark in Aarhus. And 2019 also, it was important year in my life because I did 4 short films as producer with the film school. And I did a Syrian Film Festival also in Scandinavian, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. But here in this year, 10 Danish cities, not 4. And I get like a funding from Danish Film Institute, from Aarhus Kommune, Odense Kommune, Copenhagen Kommune. They helped me because after a success, what's happened 2018. So and then I'm gonna make like a big project more as Aarhus Arab Film Festival. Aarhus Arab Film Festival, it was a different because you have almost 28 Arabic countries. So I'm screened like 50 films almost between feature, documentaries, animation, short, long. So it was a jury groups. It was many international guests in Aarhus, sure, in Danish city, Aarhus. And in December, I'm finished in film school, from film school. Happened Corona in March. In Denmark, they start to be ready to close the country. But before 2 weeks of a Corona, I did an Arab Women Film Festival. It was just a step to make a test for audience if I want to make International Women's Film Festival, and that's what's happened in 2020. I did an International Women's Film Festival. But I've been also a jury in many festivals, but it's very important. I've been official jury in Odense Film Festival, who is the oldest film festival in Scandinavian. And we work together with the European Film Award and Oscars. So yeah, I've been with the 2 jury member more. So we selected about like a best short film and the best story and the best character and European Film Award. So 4 awards. And then we sent for Oscar, and they can caring about this, so they can select it or they can and I'm started like to be like a jury in a different international film festivals in the world, like US, Europe, Middle East.
Yeah, you did a post about it. I found that interesting. How is, how do you do that work with festivals when they are international? I think, that would be interesting to ask.
Look, to be honestly with you, all my friends told me that, Mazen, you put yourself in a black box. They meant like I have a social life, but not like all the people. I mean, always from the morning to evening, I'm just a work. I'm just if I have a free time, I make script. I can write. So I'm always like learn something. For example, get online courses. I'm not a student, for example, or hobby. I'm just professional. So 2012, I'm finished from dramatic art school as an actor after 4 years, and 2019 my master as a director, and 2019 also I've been in Vienna University in a dramatic class. So I have my diplomas. I have my big dream. I believe myself at this point, and every time I'm ready to learn new something. So who's the same for me, for example, on a social media or email, and he told me you can be jury but as free with us because we don't have a budget. So I can understand him because I'm started without a budget in Syrian Film Festival. So sure, I can be with him because he respect me when he thinking about me. So I did focus about money. Okay, to be honestly, the money it's very important in the life, but to make your career and to make your big name as international, so you need to hit like something. So you don't need to put many roles. Do you understand what?
Yeah.
So okay, we don't have the money, we don't have a budget. I can understand that.
Yeah. And then I'm curious, originally you said that when you were starting Argos Film Festival, if I understood it correctly, you couldn't show or had difficulties showing Syrian films that concerned the war, for example. And so you veered off more to Syrian films or made by Syrian filmmakers that were more about introducing or presenting to European viewers the other side of the country that was not concerned with the war. And that surprised them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
yeah, that's interesting. It's another side to get to see that's not concerned. But do you think that nowadays, with how now that the festival has progressed, you can show Syrian films that include the war? Why wouldn't I? Yeah.
I'm not. I cannot to screen now new Syrian films.
Okay.
Because all the Syrian films now it's talking about the war, the documentary, it's not feature. So I cannot screen always about the war. Like when you make Palestinian Film Festival, okay. So the war in Palestine between Palestine and Israel, it's like you have 60 years almost, and every time
you must receive then a bunch of films. They're all a catalog about war, basically.
Exactly. So
yeah.
the Palestinian Filmmaker or Palestinian Film Festival, they have a goal to screen all Palestinian movies. It's who's talking about war.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
I can understand.
Yeah. So for example, my toy screened before 3 days, I think, in Palestine. And when I'm checking about the movies who is selected, so all movies is talking about war. Okay, we need to make that, sure. We need to focus about important point in the war, but I cannot screen more about war. If you have a different stories, okay, I can do thinking again to make like a Syrian Film Festival again. But already I did it my goal in 3 years, 18, 19, and 20. So I'm screened many different Syrian movies before the war, before 2011, and after the war, 2011. So, but it's enough because that I'm put for Arab Film Festival in Denmark.
And what are some of the more challenging aspects of these festival roles? What is more difficult to do?
It very depends. for example, when I've been in Odense Film Festival, it was very important to focus about who is the best story and the best short film, because the award and the mention for Oscar. So it's very important for any filmmaker. So I'm a filmmaker, and I can understand that point. So I need to sit with the jury members and to talk together many times, and we ask ourselves, why this movie? Why exactly this film? Why not this film? But like, for example, I'm now a jury in 3 different festivals. So I'm just been a jury in my home. I'm just watching all movies from my home. It was an Indian festival, a Swedish festival, American festival. I didn't talk with any jury member. I'm just selected and they give my review, and I'm just contact with the director of film festival. I'm tell them what I'm thinking about the movies, why I mentioned this film as a best short film or best actor or best actors. So why? But I've been alone. I didn't contact with another juries. In my job as a jury, I'm focused about who's the movie give like to be like a full option in a movie. For example, the good story and the good character and the good directing, good editing. But sure, that very depends and very difficult to mention that, because we don't know how much of the budget it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just about to ask. It is interesting that you now mentioned the relationship with other jury members and how much you do alone, how much you do together. Is there any sort of, how is the interaction, the communication with other jury members when deciding if a film gets accepted or not? Is there an online system where you share reviews together? Are there situations where you are together in a sort of round table and present your opinions? What are the different variations of that scenario?
I'm told you, it's like depends. Sometimes I meet them, and sometimes I've been alone. Just make my review and they select it or not. I'm just to watch it all the movies alone in my home. So, but for example, when I've been in Odense Film Festival and another festivals, for example, in Norway, I'm just to sit and we talk together with the jury and to know like which movie it's we can give the chance. And it's to be as a jury group, it's to be like a different members. Like I'm from Denmark, but I came from Syrian background. So another one from Sweden, another one from Netherlands, another one American. So, and also we have a different career. For example, I'm a filmmaker, producer, and another one who's a journalist, another one maybe a writer. So
Right.
it really depends here.
Like the Syrian Film Festival. So you worked alongside the Danish Film Institute. I think you mentioned that too in that preparation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Syrian Film Festival and Oshara Film Festival, we get the funding from them. And they was the support for my projects, and the Danish Kommune and Politiken in Denmark also, as government, sponsors. Yeah.
How did that relationship start with the Danish Institute? How was it approaching them for the first time to collaborate in our festivals?
In Corona time, it was very difficult because every year, like any film institute, I think in Europe, they have budget, like limited budget, and they be support for any important project. It's becoming this year or not. But the problem, it was in Corona time because it wasn't like a big budget for Danish Film Institute. So it was very difficult for us, like to make what we thinking. Also to make like every year it's a new thing in the festival. So to put like a new program in the festival or new guests and new lines. So, but now it's okay. So we work with them and we work. They support us, and many organizations and the governments in Denmark. So they support my project.
you're an actor as well, as you mentioned, but obviously with plenty of experience working behind the scenes, so as a director, producer. And so my question is, how have these types of work influenced one another? Have you changed as an actor because of your experience as a producer, for example, or perhaps because you're a director with acting experience, you cast differently, or direct other actors in a different way?
When you told me, Mazen, I have a story, come to work together. So I'm gonna tell you, okay, tell me your story. So I can mention myself, what I can to do, what I can to give you. So as producer, for example, maybe I can tell you, no, that movie not for me as a director. So because I'm told you that, I believe myself and I know myself, like my toy, I've been producer, writer, and director. And I'm just finished it last week from French movie. It was A to Z French. I didn't speak French, but I'm writing the story in English, and I'm just my assistant director. He helped me like to translate for French, and it was a two assistants director with me. They from Paris, and I've been a producer, writer, and director. So it was very difficult for me to do that movie as French. So all the crew in French, all the cast of French people, the story French, the location, we shot it in Paris. So, but I can see myself, I can make control, everything under control. So we shot it 4 days. It was very difficult, but we did it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. Have you seen any of the footage prior or after the shooting?
Yeah, we start now to make a post-production, but all the crew and the cast, they told me the same. They told me, Mazen, you are amazing director, not because what you imagine, but just your director because after every shot, you make a get me 5 for people, and you have a positive for people. You are not angry, and you didn't make order as ego. I don't have ego.
That's always one of the main things, one of the main tenets.
If you want to be director, believe me, if you want to be director one day, so you cannot to put your ego on the set. Believe me.
Yeah.
You need to be friend with them. You need to be friend. Sure, sometimes if I'm a repeat and the character or actor, he didn't understand on me, so I will be angry. But after that, I can to change the mood. So I'm telling, yeah, let's go, bravo, give me fun. I can put my positive. So that's what happened. All the cast and the crew, they told me the same, and they told me, Mazen, you have a positive energy in the set.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
essential. Particularly with actors, being a director, that's your department. So it's very important to keep up the spirits and not shout.
I'm very looking to see after post-production what will happen. So it's very challenging.
Yeah, I hope for the best. Now it comes another challenge of translating everything, again in another process.
Exactly. But I have a big name as an actor, please, who is play main character. He's very famous in France, and he gave me chance to work with him. I mean, every time tell him thank you, please, for that chance. And very different between France and Denmark when you want to make a short film. I mean, if you wanted to make a short film in Denmark, so okay, you can get a fund almost maybe $1,000 or $5,000 maximum from organizations. As Odense Film Workshop, Aarhus Film Workshop, Copenhagen Film Workshop, it's very different. It depends where you will shoot. So, but maximum like $4,000 or $5,000. But you can shoot tomorrow. You don't need 4 documents to shooting outside. In France, it's very different. In France, very different. If you wanna, for example, to shoot Tour Rivel, you cannot to shoot Tour Rivel in evening, because the lights for Tour Rivel,
specifically in evening. That's what you mean?
Yeah, exactly, in evening, because the light, the Tour Rivel lights, they have rights for lights.
Right.
So you need.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you need to pay on 1 second or 1 minute. I remember.
Wow.
2,000 euro. 2,000
Jesus
euro.
Christ.
But I shoot in a day. I shoot 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How do I get across these bastards? Okay, 5 o'clock in the morning.
It was a crazy. It was a crazy because I'm back from shooting 12 o'clock in the night to hotel, and I woke up like 2 o'clock. So I'm just asleep in 4 days, almost 7 hours in 4 days. But I did
Well,
it, man.
Yeah, you always feel like, it's always a miracle when you finish a film. It feels like
I did it.
you got away with murder.
Yeah, sure.
I got away with the Torifel lights, That's what we can say here.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, it's very, very, very difficult to find also location. So I can remember they have a big building and organization in Paris, Arab Institute. It's very old building and the old institute, Arab Institute. I have a good network with them, so I'm just talking with my friend. She's a manager there, so I'm told her I need for corridor and one room to shooting there as a company. She told me, yeah, okay, Mazen, because we are friends, so I can give you every hour 2,000 euro. You need to pay 2,000 euro per hour. So I'm told, what? My budget is just 2,000 euro.
Yeah, that's the friend discount.
Okay, Mazen, I'm your friend, so
discount.
this is what we're gonna do: 2,000 euro. So exactly. I'm your friend, so let's do this.
Exactly. So it's very, very depends between France and Denmark on this spot. But I need to do shorter film, a French short film, because I'm going to make my future film now in between Paris and Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will shooting 50% of the film in Marseille in France and the 50% in Jordan, Oman.
Wow, we have an international production here. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, we're looking forward to see that, and as well your French film. How did you come across, starting the project? Was it someone who approached you?
On the future film, do you mean?
No, this French film you just made.
Two tickets. Two tickets. I've been a writer, producer, and director. He's talking about like old man. He's over 55 years. He's a French man, and he every time he's trying to find like a social life to broken his routine because he's have all the problem from a past problem. So always he's trying to find like solution and to find like social life. So yeah, and then we can see what's will happen.
Right. Okay.
I cannot talk more.
Leave a little tease.
Yeah. Teaser.
Yeah.
And that was the latest from Mazen Haj Kassem, folks. We would like to thank his presence here today and have a look into his work once out on streaming platforms. Don't forget to subscribe, share this interview, or simply give us a like. That's how our podcast can grow ever more groovy. And if you're on YouTube and want to see more interviews like this, check out this next video right here. Thank you for listening and see you next time.